Okay guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Cooking with Dan! Alright, okay, for today we're going to be doing peach chicken on pan fried. This is going to have some onion shallots in it, a little bit of minced garlic, a bit of extra flavour, and we're going to serve that over mashed potatoes. So it's a fairly easy dish, a lot of flavour. Let's head straight down to the ingredients.
So there are quite a few ingredients for this, but very little prep, so we'll just get straight into it. First off, we've got sunflower oil. Now you can use the vegetable oil or another variety, it doesn't really matter. Then we've got rosemary leaves, chopped garlic, brown sugar, Dijon mayonnaise, peaches in juice. We do need the juice, so you do want to get one that is either in cans or in the plastic bottles. Now, the reason that I'm using these instead of normal peaches is because realistically they're actually fresher. So the peaches are picked directly from the trees and then put straight into the cans or tins, whereas the stuff you buy from the stores that is supposedly fresh could have actually taken about a month or so to get it. So try to grab peaches that are from a tin or a can. We need onion shallots and normal brown onion, and then baby potatoes. And last but not least, we need breast chicken. Righto, so let's get straight into the cooking process. So there's only two steps that we have for this dish. Okay, so the first step we need to do is take our chicken breast and we're going to slice this in half. The reason we're doing this is because it's a rather large chicken breast and we need to get this down to a more usable state. So that's the first step underdone, and the second step is as easy as taking another chopping board and getting our brown onion out, and we're going to slice this one up, heads and tailing it, and dice it. Okay, so with our onions now done and our chicken done, we can move straight across to the cooktop. So what we're going to do is first get a pot of water onto the boil. This is for the blanching of our shallot onions. So we need to get this nice and hot. And while that is coming up to the boil, we're going to get our pan ready and start the cooking process of the actual peach chicken. So first off, we just want to go decent couple tablespoons of oil into the center of the pan. Then light it up and bring it up to temperature. While that's heating, we're going to grab our rosemary leaves and a decent helping of rosemary leaves right over the base of this pan. So we just want to grab our chicken pieces and lay them onto the pan. I want to spread the oil out that's in that pan so that the chicken doesn't stick. And I'm just going to wash my hands, and we're going to add that extra rosemary now to the top of the chicken. So we're just going to sizzle this through until the chicken has cooked. What we're looking for is about the same time that it takes for this water here to boil, and the chicken should be ready. So what we're going to do is now take those shallots and throw them straight into the boiling water, and we're going to blanch them. So the blanching process, what this does is semi-cooking them, and you don't want them cooked all the way through, just enough so they're easy to peel. So a couple of minutes have gone by, and we're now going to take them off, and with cold water immediately drench them until they've cooled down. We want to stop the cooking process as fast as possible. So we can leave those shallots now just sitting in the cold water because the chicken is ready to turn. So we're just going to flip this chicken over, and as you can see, it's a nice golden color. And that rosemary leaves have embedded with a bit of flavor into that chicken. So we're going to now sizzle it on the reverse side for about half the amount of time that it was done the last time, until it's cooked all the way through. It's been a couple of minutes now, the chicken has cooked all the way through and it's a nice golden color. So we're going to grab a plate and take this off the frying pan and leave this just to sit on the plate while we get the rest of the ingredients ready to cook. And they will be fine just uncovered. So we want to now grab our frying pan up to a much higher temperature, almost full flame, and add a bit more oil to the pan. And then throw our brown onion that was diced up earlier, straight onto the pan, ready for frying. And we also want to grab that minced garlic. And I just use the tongs here, and I'm just going to use a heaped scoop out of the tong. It's probably about a tablespoon's worth into the frying pan as well. And finally, we are going to grab some more of those rosemary leaves, and we're just going to put a good sprinkle over the top of the frying pan. And with those 3 ingredients on the pan, we want to grab our spatula and we want to mix that all up. So while our onions are frying, we're now going to take those shallots, which are now completely cool, and we are going to peel them. Now, the process of peeling them involves basically just head and tailing the shallot, and the skin should just peel straight off. So now that they've all been peeled, we're just going to set them aside and start moving on to the next process. Just going to adjust the heat so it's a little hotter here, about as high as flame you can get, and just scrape all the mixture off so none sticks to the bottom of the pan. Then we're going to grab our peaches, and what we want out of the peaches is the juice. So we're just going to take the lid off and then just gently place the lid on and use it like a strainer to drain the juices off into the pan. Then taking a tablespoon, we're going to grab our brown sugar, and we want 1 decent tablespoon of brown sugar into the center. And we also want to take our Dijon mustard, and again 1 decent tablespoon of Dijon mustard into the mix as well. And we're going to take our spatula and give that a really good mix up and bring it up to the boil. Now that's come up to the boil, we're going to add our shallots into that mix, again stirring it in while it's boiling. And we're then going to bring the temperature down to simmer. And what we're going to do is we're going to glaze this off. So the brown sugar is going to caramelize, and we're going to end up with a really sticky, gooey mixture. While that's happening, we're going to light the pot up that we had our shallots into. Use that water, waste not, want not, to boil our potatoes. So all we're going to do with these potatoes is we're going to quarter them. So half, and then half again, and place them straight into the pot of water. Each slices we put aside before, we're now going to place them into the dish while we wait for the potatoes to boil. We're also going to add the chicken. So all we're going to do with this chicken is we're just going to roughly slice it and then put it straight into the mix. Now, remembering some of the best parts of the chicken are in the juice, we want to add that in as well. We're going to take our spatula and we're going to fold everything in together. So we're just going to let that sit and simmer now for about 5 to 10 minutes. All the juices and flavors are going to get in, and we're going to clean everything else up. Right, so we're just going to check our potatoes, and yep, nice and easy with a squeeze of the tongs. It means they're ready to go. So we're just going to take them off the heat now, take them over, drain them out, rinse them with some cold water, ready for mashing. And we're going to lightly mash these. Now we don't want to overdo these potatoes, we still want them quite chunky. Then we're going to just turn the heat down on the chicken and stir this again for another minute or so until all the flavors and juices have mixed well. And that completes the peach chicken. So you can see all the flavors have simmered into the chicken quite well. I'm now going to plate this all up and show you what it looks like. And there we have it, guys. We've got our peach chicken with our really chunky mash. The reason we left that mash nice and chunky is so when you take a scoopful, you're going to get a good grab of the flavors and the sticky juice. And that completes another episode of Cooking with Dan. Thanks again, everyone, for subscribing. Remember to click like and share this page, and stay tuned for future videos. Bye.